The Arizona Cardinals have a new general manager in Monti Ossenfort. Welcome into Quick Slant, presented by your Arizona Ford dealers. Alongside Darren Urban, I'm Dani Sureck. Ossenfort has worked in the NFL for 22 years as a scout and most recently director of player personnel with the Tennessee Titans. He had a joint press conference with owner Michael Bidwill this week. Darren, what made Ossenfort a desirable candidate for Bidwill?
I think there's a couple of different things there. I think number one, his background, clearly working with successful organizations with the Patriots and Titans made a difference to Michael Bidwill. He's gone through the process in terms of talking with other owners in previous years, so I think there was a little bit of knowledge there for Michael Bidwill, and both of them said they clicked when they first started talking. Now, that's going to be natural. Once you finally hire a person, there's obviously going to be some chemistry, but I just think that in a lot of ways, how Monti Ossenfort talked about building a team, how he talked about that you would take some things from your previous stops, but not everything. I think that's a big deal. I mean, it'd be easy for somebody to come in from the Patriots and say, I'm going to do everything the Patriots did. We've seen in the past with other people that doesn't always work. In this case, he's going to take bits and pieces from everywhere he's been, and I think that's a big part of it.
Ossenfort talked about the vision and putting his own spin on things. He also talked about not wanting to have egos in this locker room. What stood out to you about what Ossenfort is trying to instill here with the Cardinals?
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about, he mentioned not having any egos in the locker room. He mentioned talking about always team first over individual, and he relayed an anecdote about at one point about a saying in terms of, you know, even if you put your team ahead of something that might benefit you more, that's what the kind of players are looking for. And I think ultimately, when you're talking about Michael Bidwill, talking about accountability, and even Michael talked about how there are veterans who said there needs to be more accountability. I think that all feeds into where Monti Ossenfort is coming from. And I do think it ultimately feed into what kind of coach they end up hiring as well.
That's the first order of business, hiring a new head coach. What does the timetable look like now that Bidwill has hired his new general manager?
I mean, I don't think there's anything that's going to happen super quick. I mean, first of all, current assistant coaches couldn't even be interviewed until this week. Anyways, there's usually an attempt to try and not hire guys during Super Bowl week. There's a lot of things going on, but obviously the process is going to start. They didn't want to put any timetable on it, but I don't think there's any question, and Michael Bidwill already mentioned the fact they will be interviewing Vance Joseph. I think these interviews are going to start happening fast and furious, and I do think they want to have somebody in place because there's a lot to do.
Lots to do, 30-plus pending free agents, third overall pick in the draft. Monti Ossenfort is going to have his work cut out for him, or as he said, opportunities. More coverage covering the Cardinals' new general manager on azcardinals.com. For Darren Urban, I'm Dani Sureck. Thanks so much for tuning in to Quick Slant.